The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA's heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
What is going on? You are listening to Tag's podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 746. I am your host, Steve V, alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much. And joining us, the lovely, talented Cody Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. Doing wonderful.
Nice. Well, let's get into today's topic, which really, I spent a good portion of the weekend binging this new show, Age of Attraction. I'll explain. Basically, imagine meeting someone, feeling chemistry, connection, desire, and not knowing their age. That's pretty much the premise of this new dating series, Age of Attraction. Connection first, reality later. Here's where it gets interesting because they're in a retreat and they mingle and date and develop these connections. And there's all different age groups there. And if they spark a connection after going on several dates in this retreat area, then you go into the promise room, and that's where you reveal if you want to go further with the relationship, and then you reveal the actual age. And some of them are jaw-dropping, like huge. Like, you know, some people look really good, and it's like the first one was like, oh my God. And then so it brings up for gay men, age has always been complicated, right? We kind of fetishize it, we fear it, we label it, and we definitely filter by it. So today we're asking, if you took age out of the equation, who would you choose? And when reality comes back in, age, distance, because many of these people live in different parts of the country, are they going to relocate? Sex, expectations, and then my favorite part that I'm on right now is when the family and friends come into the picture.
Oh,
and
Lord.
This really got me thinking a lot. Your family and friends really do have a stake in who you date. And I didn't realize how much so, because this is really putting it on the line. And then you factor in things like age. But I guess just to warm everybody up, because I really love the show, would you date differently, Jeremy, if you didn't know the age?
I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, in my relationship, we are exactly 9 years apart. And a lot of things I feel like I'm like older in a sense that like my boyfriend has a very like young spirit and lots of energy, and I really don't necessarily when I date care about the age so much as I care about like the attraction emotionally, physically, like spiritually. I feel like that just matters so much more than the number.
Yeah, I mean, I have an 11-year age gap between Diego and myself, and it feels like we're around the same age. Like I never feel that at all. When I've been on, I feel like a lot of us don't think a lot. The age doesn't. It's just like a number. It shouldn't really matter. When I was going on a speed date thing years ago, they put us into categories, though, 35 and older, which of course I was in, and then 35 and below. So I do think we do put emphasis on age. What about you, Cody? Would you date differently if you didn't know the age?
I don't think so. I think I'm totally aligned with what Jeremy said, that as long as you have a youthful spirit, quote unquote, and that's all that really matters to me. And, that I'm attracted to you and that we have things in common and that we're going towards the same place. We're moving towards, we want to grow together. So that all of that combined is more important than the number to me.
I think, and see, I believe that too, but we do filter on the apps. Do you filter, Cody, your
No.
age? Oh,
No,
you
no, no.
don't at all.
I hide my age because, people do discriminate. So that's something that
Yeah.
age is something I keep in mind, but I don't like lie about my age on the app, but I definitely don't lead with it because people will count you out just because you're over a
And
certain age.
I can understand that because I remember when you are on the apps, people just have so many things that they check off that they don't want
Right.
unless they don't know going into it. So like just saying, I don't know, that how they just typecast people by body type and race and all of that stuff, and I think
Yep.
it helps to go into it not knowing necessarily everything.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest age gaps that they find out is the girl turns out to be 27 and the man turns out to be, get ready, 60.
Yeah.
And
I think I saw that
that
one.
is
I saw a clip.
nuts. I mean, I was in shock and it was just like, oh my God.
You
I mean, he
Can I
looks,
say one thing about
yeah,
that show? All the clips, all the it's so funny because like all the black people, you can't tell how
you
old any
cannot.
of them are. It's crazy to me. So they compile like a clip of
Oh,
all the
back, so that's why
Well,
they
back to the other things that I noticed too. My sister and I were going back and forth, and she said, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe that one guy was not even 30. I think this one guy." And I said, "You know what it is? You ever notice how tall people, really tall people, like beyond 6'2",
Oh.
appear older? Not that they look older,
Mhm.
like face wise. It's just." I don't know. It's it to me, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're right.
You
Tall,
mean
super."
it adds maturity to them?
Not even
Yeah,
just like when they walk into a room, would not, you just age them higher
Yeah.
than they really are. And I think it's
I
just
see
a
that.
size thing.
Yeah, I
And
definitely see that.
yeah, that's why. And then, like you said, Cody, the whole thing about maybe we don't tell, I wouldn't, if I was on the apps still, I wouldn't put my actual age because I think, like you said, immediate people would be like, oh, I'm not going to go with somebody 55. And even though I don't maybe look that perception, but then the same is true if I met somebody and found out that they were in their 20s at my
Yeah.
age, I think I would, like, if I didn't know, I would base it on the connection, but then I would start thinking about things like their stage in life. I would think about myself in 20s. Would you do the same, Jeremy, if you were dating? If you found, if they said they were like very young?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I just have a feeling like you can usually tell, like grasp the some sort of age that a person is without them describing it. And then also, I think a lot of times when you are out there dating, you can tell by certain things that you have in common and what you don't have in common.
Yeah.
Uh, so, for example, if you're a 90s baby, if someone has a huge age gap from that, either younger or older, there's so much that they missed or isn't relevant to them. And I think you can totally tell that.
Yeah, I mean, us gays would have a problem with music references and things of they even on this straight series I'm watching. The guy asked the girl, and she's only 22. Well, like the Spice Girls, and she's like, "Wait, who are the Spice Girls?" He's like, "You don't know who
Oh
the
my
Spice
god.
Girls are?" And it was just nuts. She knew Victoria Beckham though, because of course,
Of course she did.
the children,
Yeah.
right, that are always in the media and so forth. But yeah, I mean, references can be a thing. You can teach certain people things, but I mean, but when you think about it, nothing has changed when you meet somebody and you connect with them except the number.
Mhm.
And we do have a society, we think of certain phases of our life that maybe you're mature, you're not mature. But in our gay culture, we have things like twink daddy, Silver Fox is a whole culture. We have things like fetish versus real partnerships. I mean, do gay men actually embrace age gaps, or do we sexualize them, Jeremy?
Uh, I would say we do both, to be honest. I mean, I think we sexualize them, especially when I guess role play and stuff comes into when you factor that in, because I just automatically think of porn and uh,
Right.
daddy porn and dominating and
Twinks
all of
and
that. Someone that's younger, and then twinks being like fetishized a lot with how young they are or how young they look, at least. And then I think, on the other hand, a lot of men do embrace it and are comfortable in their own skin and fine with fine lines on their face and just getting wrinkles and salt and pepper hair and all of that, and just aging gracefully and how they look naturally.
yeah, I think we use some of those terms to our advantage, which can be sexual. Like I have a few friends that use they're not suitable for work OnlyFans with the daddy. That's they lead it with daddy because it's a commanding thing, it's a dominant thing. It's we sexualize it. What do you think? Do gay men actually embrace age gaps or sexualize them, Cody?
Like Jeremy said, it's a little bit of both because again, it can be such a fetishizing thing. I can see how uh, a lot of younger guys really look up to and think that that masculine daddy persona is something to be admired. So I think it's a little bit of both. And I think that as far as when you get past that fetishization and you actually start to look towards a person, that's when the age gap can become more of a significant thing that you realize, but also start to really appreciate.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the show does do a good job of showing how these straight people build emotional connection first through these various dates. But like in gay dating, often we do the opposite sex first, and then we get to know the people, hook up first, then decide if you like them. Sex as a shortcut. Did you have sex first, Jeremy, with Kevin?
No, not right away, for sure. We definitely went on like a few dates before and got like comfortable and talked about sex before we did anything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they might, Cody, on the show go through these dates, but they're also in a beautiful retreat that's like a bubble. So
Mhm.
everybody and every shot is a fashion moment and they look good. Then they have to move in together as the next phase. And many of them have never lived with somebody, it's close quarters. And then the real stuff comes out. So I don't know that as gay men, when we do put sex first, is such a bad thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think of it as a bad thing. I think that uh, that is a sexuality is definitely part of a relationship. So who I don't judge people or look it down on people. I'm personally guilty of it. So and I felt like that didn't impede me building a relationship with my ex because that we did have sex on the first date. So I think it's
I did
something
too.
and you're married. See, look,
Yeah,
see how
right.
far it doesn't make that's not a rule that I think that anybody should be holding steadfastly to because as long as you're both mature adults and you can kind of navigate that, you can do whatever you want to do. You can have sex on the first date, you can wait a little
Mhm.
bit longer. It's entirely up to you. All that stuff is made up in my personal opinion.
So it brings up the question, would gay men, if we had a show like this for gay men, no sex up front, just dating first, would it work, Jeremy?
I'm like torn right in the middle again. I feel like for some people it would, and some cases it would, and then I think others it wouldn't. I feel like some people, I think in a ways it is jumping the gun, but at the same time, I don't judge. Like, I think it's fine if you lead with that. I think for myself personally, need, I wanted the emotional connection first because I have been used to the hookup culture and coming from a big city.
Right.
So coming to small town, I was searching for relationship and commitment and
Hmm.
getting to know someone more than just on a sexual level. So for me, that was what I led with. But I think it goes both ways. I think both can be successful. I really think it's what mindset you're in, and then just the attraction in general. And I think what you're looking for and what your ultimate goals are. But I think it really just depends on the personalities of both people.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I may have gone home with Diego the first night, but we talked for so long at this bar and I learned so much about him. One of which that we did make our official first date was hiking. And it was something I really wanted to do more of. And he is such a hiker, a major hiker, and, getting out of the city. And we talked about, our experiences. So I really was intrigued and wanted to know more and also go to bed with them too. But, we ultimately did both, which I think is good. The show, though, brings up that whole thing. Would you move for love? The connection part is easy, but the real life part, living together in geography. Cody, would you move for love?
Yeah, girl, where we moving? I hope it's someplace nice with some nice weather.
Yeah, don't
I'm
ask us
not.
right now.
I'm not. That is not a hang up of mine. It would honestly, we would have to come to some sort of compromise as far as, because I can't. I tried living in the country, girl. It is not for me, and I. It's a
Anymore?
nice place to visit. What'd you say, babe?
I said not in Kansas anymore.
Not
Right.
in Kansas, girl. I can't do it. And you know what? My brother's thinking about moving back. And I was like, why would you want to do that? But yeah, so I would definitely have to compromise on a city, someplace where we both could maybe experience a little bit of that country life. I don't know. I feel like Zsa Zsa Gabor in Green Acres sometimes.
Yeah. Uh-oh, that's an old reference.
That's an
You
old
have already
reference
mentioned
too.
that
But I
too.
watched it on Nick at Night when I was a kid.
Okay.
So, all
Thank
right.
you.
So that doesn't say.
Yeah, I used to think that long distance could work, and I don't. It's hard to imagine leaving friends, jobs, your community where you live, and I don't think I could just relocate. And I used to believe that long distance, you could totally do long distance relationships, but they're so hard, I feel, and that distance for me doesn't work. And that's why I'm not sure the show would work, because relocating is a big deal, especially for us gay men. Do you agree, Jeremy?
I do. I mean, I think it depends on how far the distance is. So, me specifically, I live 2 hours away from my boyfriend, and we weigh out, like, we put together a calendar and schedule like when we're going to see each other, and we both admit the time that we have away from each other actually kind of bonds us in a way. Like, we get even more excited to see each other when we do. And we have two separate places to visit. So when he comes to visit me, it's kind of like a staycation. And when I visit him, it's the same. So, I mean, that dynamic works for us. And 2 hours seems not only worth it, but it doesn't seem far when
Yeah.
we bond so well. So I think it really depends on what you consider long distance. And then I think ultimately how well you communicate with having that distance.
Yeah, and I just wonder, because it does work, but you're still in the same, Boston area,
Yeah.
and I wonder, you did meet him when you did move away from New York,
Yeah.
relocated yourself. I'm wondering if he had slid into your DMs and you still lived in New York, that would be a harder distance. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would have mattered, like, meeting him first in person to really end up making the decision.
Yeah, exactly. And then the third part is when these couples move in together, but then they have to meet the family and perceptions. And I don't think we put enough emphasis. What your family and friends think about who you're dating means a lot to most of us and can weigh heavy on. And our friends and family know us inside and out. They want the best for us, but they are not afraid to say, they don't like somebody. My sister was just telling me, oh yeah, I was talking to mom the other day, and mom was asking, has Steve dated anybody you didn't like? And she says, oh yeah, there's been a couple, and went on and telling him all that. And I was like, oh my God, can we forget about those two? It was just like enough already. But she continuously reminds me, remember that one you dated? And I said, yes. I mean, Cody, how important does your friends and family opinion of who you date matter to you?
I mean, of course it matters. I think oh man, if they really could not just get along, I might have to start to rethink things. But I personally have to weigh the positives and the negatives on things, and I feel like a peacemaker at heart. So I feel like there's a way for me to talk to both parties and make sure that they can see the good in each other, especially if
So
like
you're
if
going
I'm
to life
really
coach your own relationship to your family and friends?
exactly.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
It is, but it's worth it for a harmonious, like living and love romantic relationship for a nice family unit. I think it's really definitely worth it because I really would not like for there to be any animosity between the people and the people that I love, like my best friends and my boyfriend. No, I don't want that. And my mom, oh my God, I would die if my mom hated my boyfriend.
Yeah, it would be a hard no. I couldn't do it if my family and friends didn't like the person I was with, because fortunately they love Diego, and it's like, my mom says I love you both after every phone call, and Diego calls
Aw.
mom, and my sister and Diego are just like, so they just adore each other. And I've been in the room, like I have anxiety issues when I know there's tension in a room. I don't like it. I can feel it. I just couldn't do it. Like it would be almost deal breaker. How about you? I remember talking to one of your best friends, Jeremy, and she told me, oh, I even love Kevin more than Jeremy. And so, how
It's
important is it to you? Because I know how important your family and friends are.
super important, and I think it really goes to show you like what matters most. And I think also just the people that are the closest to you know you so well.
Right.
The fact that I think that they end up trusting your judgment and can see when someone is good for you. And I think that you can always tell. I know that this sounds so like cliche to say, but you can tell how much a person loves themselves by how good the person is that they're dating. And I think that that is so true. Um, when you're introducing them to people, usually their perception is like spot on based off of your judgment.
Yeah. And because let's face it, we can all be in a bubble initially with certain people and maybe conforming ourselves to be attractive and liked by your newfound partner, but your friends and family know you inside and out, and they're gonna get a vibe if this feels right or not. Do you agree with that, Cody?
Yeah, I
Or are you
think
gonna
that.
still say
I
intermediate?
mean, I would definitely try and mediate because there's good positive things, but I do see with the value in that because your friends do know you very well. So
Yeah, I agree. Well, okay, it's a great show. I really recommend it on Netflix. Age of Attraction. Check it out. It's fun and a lot of surprises, and I think you guys will get into it. But fun lightning round to wrap this portion up. The oldest you'd date,
oh.
Jeremy. Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard because you're with somebody, but if you weren't,
No, I would say the oldest I would date is probably 50.
50. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm 55, so the oldest I date. I mean, if I was, I don't. I mean, definitely 10 years above me for sure. I would. How about you, Cody?
I don't think that they're well. You know what? I wouldn't date an 80-year-old. Well, I don't know. I
I don't think
it
I
really.
would.
You don't think you would? Oh,
Well, I mean, I don't.
there's.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
You know, I
an
think it's
80-year-old is already wrapped. I mean, they
I
might still be vibrant, but
I think I gauge it off of like my parents' age. So my parents are in their early 60s. So
Uh-huh.
that's where I think maybe 10 or 15 years younger than that makes sense to me.
youngest you date, Jeremy.
Oh, probably honestly 30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I'm skipping the 20s, early
Yeah.
30s, I think.
Early
You,
Just
30s for
Cody?
sure.
myself when I was
Yeah.
in my 20s, I was like a hot mess. So I feel like I'm I'm still finding myself now, but like if I don't know, I just feel like I was not really that dateable in my 20s, especially early 20s.
Me as well. And then you have to factor in for many of us, not all of us, but many of us came out in our 20s. That's when we're starting to figure. So now we have that whole layer of figuring out how we fit into the community.
Yeah.
And that just adds a whole nother layer of maturity that,
I think you evolve like yourself as a person, and you go through like sometimes you fall on your face, like you go through so many trials and tribulations during those years that I think that there's a lot of like life to be had before you're like really ready for anything serious.
And then switching gears from dating to hooking up age range versus relationship age. I mean, hooking up, as long as they're legal, I would be fine. And I would also be fine with that 80-year-old Cody. What about you?
I mean,
Hook up?
yeah, definitely. Hook up probably around in their mid-20s, because I don't know how good at the sex these early 20-year-olds are going to be, but definitely somebody in their 80s. It would just, again, all there would have to be contributing factors that would make sure that I would want to actually do it. So you never know. Hey,
I would
if you're
definitely check the ID though on the young ones, because I would be freaked out. Are you legal? What about you, Jeremy? Hookup age and
I would say probably like 20, like late 20s and up to 50.
okay. And then would great sex make you overlook age? For if it was just hooking up, oh, absolutely. Would great sex
Mhm.
make you overlook age, Cody?
Oh yeah, definitely. As long as they're good at it, I don't care how old they are.
Yes. Jeremy, how about you?
Yes, definitely.
Love it. Okay. Well, that was fun.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
And let's continue the conversation over on our Tags Patreon community. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't just about age or even chemistry. It's about alignment. Because when you're clear on who you are and what you want, you stop choosing based on fear, perception, or outdated rules. You start choosing connection that actually fits into your life. That's what Connect and Confidence is about, helping you build real relationships rooted in clarity, confidence, and intention. Because the right connection, it doesn't ask for your age first, it asks for your presence. Visit my new app at studio.com/SteveV/connect. That's studio.com/SteveV/connect. And let's get into hot topics. This one really was just something. I was at a brunch the other day, and my friend loves Heated Rivalry, like we all have, and he was the one that got me into watching it, and you as well, Jeremy. But
Yeah.
he said something that at first I thought blasphemous, but then I kind of started to agree, and I had my own thought about it, that the two main actors, Connor and Hudson, are they becoming a little too overexposed? Jeremy, I ask you, and here's what I didn't think this at all, and I'm so happy for them, and seeing them on the red carpet, every single red carpet has been great. My friend pointed out they have this one show, 6 episodes, they're everywhere, And it's starting to feel like a lot. And I said the only time I thought it recently was I saw a video of Hudson getting ready for the Oscars, and he was almost overplaying it to the camera too much. And let's look at what my stylist brought for me. And it just seemed like a lot. I don't know. What do you think, Jeremy?
I don't think so at all. I mean, I think that we're in a day and age where social media is your bread and butter. And especially if you're an actor, model, any of that, I mean, the most exposure you can get, the better. So I think kudos to them. They deserve it. I love it. I love seeing them all over the magazine covers, the red carpets. I absolutely love it. And I don't think anyone is to say that they don't deserve it or that it's like, I guess if it's too much, just change the channel, turn the page. I mean, they
Yeah.
do with other shows and other actors get accolades, so I think why not them? And it's great for our community.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love seeing them. I do think you can be a little too overexposed sometimes. No offense, Jeremy, but sometimes I thought that of J Lo. I'm like one more thing. Can you just
I
take
mean,
a break?
yeah, but then she got like such a bad rap and
Yeah,
everyone hated her. So I mean,
that's true.
it
Yeah.
ebbs and flows, I feel like, but they also are new to this. So imagine how exciting it is to record getting ready for your first Oscars and getting a stylist in general and all of that. I just think if I was in their shoes, I'd want all the exposure too.
Weigh in on this, Cody.
Oh yeah, I agree with you both, but I feel like so the thing that makes me feel like they aren't overexposed, and it can definitely happen, like they're on the verge of being overexposed, is they didn't make that much money off of Heated Rivalry, and I
Oh,
feel
they
like all
didn't.
of these,
Okay, I didn't know
all
that.
of yeah, they were just both just kind of starting, and I feel like they got not really a great deal as far as because they didn't know that this was going to be such a success. As far as
Oh,
of what
right.
I know, the people should probably write in and let us know if it's any different. But I feel like all this press stuff and all this other stuff, all these other accolades that they're getting, I feel like this is them kind of trying to recoup and actually make money. I hope they're getting paid for a lot of the stuff that they're doing because they
Oh, I'm
really
sure
deserve
they
it. Yeah, and this is
Right.
their time in the spotlight. So I think that they should take all of this in and really kind of like recoup some of that money of being an actual star because there's a craze around them right now and they are the hottest thing on the market. So I want them to be
They're
out
riding that
and
wave
out
as they
front.
should. Yeah. Okay. Well, some of us like the Housewives, some of us don't, but I think we can all agree
are.
this Real Housewives moment gathered Erica Jane from Housewives of
Love
Beverly
her.
Hills, as well as a bunch of others
Oh, I
from
know exactly what you're going to say.
Phaedra Parks. We
Nene,
had the Countess. We had
Melissa Gorga.
Melissa Gorga. We
Candace,
Candace Dillard Bassett, and of course I said Luann as well. All went to
Countess.
DC for us, for not just us, but HIV prevention. And they met up with Senator Cory Booker, and it was kind of a big deal. All put on by somebody we talk about on the show, Mr. Tristan Shucraft, CEO of Mistr, and he's bought the Abbey and properties in Puerto Vallarta and everywhere. He gathered these housewives together, and they all went to fight for HIV and for us. And basically, it was HIV prevention presented by Mistr on March 18th in DC, and it was talking about the potential of taking away things like PrEP and what that could do, and the fight for HIV and how we really need prevention and it should be provided. What do you think about this moment when the housewives are doing something good for our community? Jeremy.
I absolutely love it. I mean, I've watched every single franchise from the beginning. So for me, I notice that they are hand selected based off of how much they support our community, and each one of them has gay family members in their life and friends and have brought gays on the show since the beginning. So I really love it, and I love seeing them be able to support the cause and like actually when you know their backstory and even Melissa specifically, she had her cousin's wedding featured on there of gays, like way like seasons ago. And Erica Jane, all of her posse and crew, and
Yeah.
Nene Leakes, and I mean all of them. I think even the Countess with her cabaret, I think
Right.
they all were selected for a reason, and I really love that they were there to speak on it.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Cody? Especially when other reality franchises, The Bachelorette just got pulled because that Taylor
Ooh,
Paul was
what a
caught
mess.
in a 2023 video, domestic abuse in front of her kids. So
Yeah.
the Housewives are doing something good for our community.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And when I saw it, it just made me well up and kind of like feel loved on the inside. So I'm so happy that they're using their platform for something good and really stepping out there and letting Washington know that we're not going to stand for this being taken away, because what sense does that make? What really kind of stood out to me is I saw a little piece of some of the interview that some of them did, and Candace was saying that she actually has family and that this is something personal with her that are living with HIV. And I think that that's amazing. People should not forget that the people out there living with HIV are actually people. They're people first. And this is something that we should not ignore.
Got it. Love it. So keep up with those housewives, and thank you for doing the good work. Thank you to Mistr as well. Tristan is really making waves for our community, and I love it. Well, Uber recently responded after a Texas teen says his driver kicked him out of a car for being gay. And that happened when the Hispanic teenager living in Texas uploaded a video last week that showed him repeatedly asking the driver why he had canceled the trip. The driver's response was to ask him to get out of the car. I'm going to call the police right now, or leave. And according to the guy, the minute he got into the car and said hello, in his words, his very gay voice, is when the guy said, "Oh, you've got to leave my car." He wrote to Uber support team, and they did respond and said, "We're very sorry to hear this happen. This behavior isn't okay. Uber doesn't tolerate discrimination of any kind and can confirm that a specialized team is actively reviewing the incident." I mean, what do you think about this, Jeremy? Do you like how at least Uber was quick to respond?
I do. I think it's smart of them to respond in that way, and I do feel like I've been in that situation before where you can tell the driver's like kind of quiet or just awkward and weird, but I think it's kind of good that the person didn't take the whole ride, because you just put yourself kind of in
Yeah.
an unsafe scenario when you stay, especially if the person driving is really that homophobic, and sometimes they can be, especially in certain areas that you're at. So I would say it's good to be cautious and try not to delve too much into when you're taking those rides, just to stay safe.
Yeah, it's probably good to get out and always write to the team. Uber once responded to my complaint when literally the guy accepted my trip. I get in and he looks to see where I'm going, which was to my mom's house, which was, 20 miles away. And he said, "Oh, no, I'm not going there." And I said, "What?" And he canceled the ride. And so I got out and fucked him, like gave him the biggest finger ever and slammed the door so hard. He got
Oh,
out of the car and I was like, I was screaming at him, "What are you going to do?" It was this whole thing.
Live.
But I did write to Uber and they actually gave me my money and said they were going to deal with it. So I was happy. What do you think about this, Cody?
Yeah, this is wild. I can't believe, like, this is your job, and this is something that discrimination across the board should not be tolerated. So I'm glad that they're doing something. I'm also glad that he didn't get hurt in this situation, because that
yeah.
could have really been a kerfuffle or, yeah. So
Something
I'm glad
serious.
everybody's okay.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, we love to give advice, and today is no different. This one comes from Reddit called Communication Expectations. They wrote, "So I know in dating, one of the big things people take into account is how often you talk to each other. I'm personally someone who needs a lot of space to myself and really doesn't enjoy text-based communication. This is true of any and all of my relationships. I'll go weeks without talking to even close friends and family. It's just how I've always been. Honestly, I'm pretty self-assured in that assessment of myself. How many of you would find this a deal breaker with someone, though? And if you really liked someone like me, where this was one major barrier to getting closer, what would you suggest as a solution to meet me in the middle? And this, after watching Age of Attraction, was a big deal because one of the couples, they move in together. It's an experiment, and one of them wants to go to the gym and take a shower and just have that a little bit of alone time. And he says the woman constantly wants to be tied and glued to his hip. I think that you learn a lot about different people and their communication. What would you tell this guy, Jeremy, if you had to give him a little advice to meet him in the middle?
I would say he should probably try and text more, and figure out, at least if he doesn't want to text, that he's okay with phone calls or like a FaceTime here and there. I think that check-ins really help you build a relationship, and the communication really helps you gain trust in the person. I think any sort of relationship, whether it be a friendship or your partner. So I think that meeting in the middle would be just trying to read the situation and maybe go a little bit outside of your comfort zone. So just getting better at like letting someone know what you're up to, or I don't know, just like check-ins, like I said, here
I
and there.
agree.
And
I
if they're
think
just few and far between, like, and I think going weeks not talking to most people sounds like you should probably stay single, or or if not, then try and work on it.
I think you definitely should try and work on it. I think there's a whole recent phenomenon of solidarity ever since the pandemic, really being isolation, and it's not a good thing. I think we, need to connect more, get out there. I think friends, family, somebody you're dating, you need to be in contact with them at all times, and it's healthy. And studies show that connections, whether it's simply text or meetups, are so important from a health reason and mentally. I think. Would you say, Cody?
Well, I'm one of those people that likes to be attached at the hip when I'm in a romantic relationship. So I think me and this guy would not get along at all. But that being said, I would be willing to compromise if I liked him. I don't even know if I could get into somebody that didn't want to talk to me for weeks. I would be like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I liked him, there would be a way to compromise on it. And there is also a way for you to let somebody know in the kindest and most loving way that you need a little bit of space. And space is not a bad thing. But I think that when you need to take that time to yourself, you have to use kind words and lovingly describe that, baby, I just need to go over here. I adore you. You look so beautiful. Your ass is fat. But I need to go over here and just have a little bit of me time. And that'll make it all the difference personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. One last one. This one, more of a sex advice, writes, if you're a slutty guy or go to things like cum dumps on sniffies, how do you handle telling this to other men, if at all? They wrote, this is something I've been realizing I need to have to put forth. I am a slutty dude. I have sex with strangers a decent number of times a week without a condom, and anal is often, which I'm okay with. I feel I'm careful with safety. I'm on PrEP. I get tested. I'm happy with myself, and I don't necessarily feel shame for it. That said, sometimes there's guys I want to go on a date with, or someone who's more than a one-off, and I'm not sure if I should let them know how sexually active I am, because I'm of two minds. On the one hand, my risk of getting an STD is higher than a guy who's, less sexually active. And I worry I may not come off as a slutty guy unless a guy explicitly asks, like, how many guys do you sleep with in a week? On the other hand, it's also none of his business. And ultimately, the risk of STD is always possible when when you're having sex. So
Yeah.
what do you think, Jeremy? Should he be telling people this?
So I think there's a fine line of disclosing it too early on, and I don't think he needs to do that. But I do think if he is going to sleep with the person, then he should be able to explain that and disclose that. So I think the fine line is, do you want to sleep with the person early on, like right at the beginning, or are you willing to wait? And then if you're willing to wait and go on a few dates, then maybe they'll be less judgmental if you explain that you're like super sexually active and stuff like that. But you have to factor in that you are putting them at risk if you don't explain to them just your activity in general.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the mindset that I just assume everyone is, and I'm going to do my part at least of getting tested and, you know, taking my PrEP and whatever to take care of myself. I don't think you owe it to somebody early on when you're dating, but I think as gay men, the more you start dating somebody, we talk more openly about sex, and things like that might come up more on a, you know, third, fourth date. You could start bringing that up. What do you say to this, Cody?
I mean, I don't run into this problem because I usually go on dates with guys that I meet at the cum dump. So
there you go.
We both know each other are sluts in the beginning. But I feel like if I were to go on a date with somebody I didn't know was being more sexually active, I wouldn't put it out there at first, because I think, like Steve said, I think that when you are dating somebody, you should probably assume that they're out there dating or being friendly, quote unquote,
having
with
a good
other
time.
people. Exactly. I feel like unless you're exclusive, you can't rule out that they're having sex with somebody else. So I think that this person doesn't really owe an explanation to anyone until they are in the mode to be exclusive, to disclose their sexual past. And even when they're exclusive, as long as you're not having sex with anybody else, I don't think that there's anything that you owe anybody. I mean, it would be nice to talk about, and get everything out in the open so there's no surprises later, but I don't really see the value in that. But, you know, to each their own.
Got it. Love it. And we can always give you advice as well. So you can we'll give our handles right now. So much fun, you guys. I love it.
Yes.
You can follow my co-host, Jeremy, on Instagram at jrosslopez. Follow Cody on Instagram and Blue Sky at Mr. Maurice. Don't forget to get his EP music video coming out soon. Yes, Cody?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And we may even show it on Tags Live soon. We are live on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Get the link at tagspodcast.com. Follow me on Instagram. I am _Steve V. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Lovely.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
Hey, I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. If you enjoy journalism that drifts into mild panic, wild overthinking, and a guaranteed nervous breakdown, Lunatic in the Newsroom is for you. It's news like you've never heard before. The only newsroom with a panic button. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and gasp in horror as the show spirals completely out of control. It's not just news, it's emotionally unstable. Lunatic in the Newsroom. Listen today.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.